Alright, so today's video is going to be frontside rocks or frontside rock and rolls, or you can also call them front rocks, whatever's easiest. Basically what you're going to do is roll up, and instead of just like a regular rock and roll, a normal rock and roll is going to be probably backside, so your back is going to face the coping when you go back in. Frontside rock and roll is called frontside rock and roll because your front side is facing the coping when you pivot back into the transition. So it kind of looks like this. When you come up, you're going to do a rock. The board's going to rock, and then what you're going to do is do a 180 pivot on your back wheel and come back in. And like I said, your front face of your body is going to be facing the coping on this side right here, and that's where they get the name frontside rock and roll. Alright, so if you're first starting out and haven't ever tried these tricks before, the first thing you want to learn is going to be a frontside kick turn. And that's just going to be a kick turn coming up like this, front side, just like a rock and roll, only there's no rock and roll in it. You're just going to do the 180 and then the pivot on your wheels, and once you get comfortable with that, you can start to do the rock. You can learn rock to fakies. Once you get rock to fakies, going back in fakie, you can just put the 180 in when you're going back in, so it looks kind of like this. Kind of like backside disasters, frontside rock and rolls, they look pretty stylish if you can do them right. So when you're first learning them, you want to come up to the coping and you're going to rock your board right in about the middle because you're not very comfortable with the trick yet, most likely. And then you're going to go back in. So once you get that down, I say do it like 3, 4, 5 times in a row. And if you can get those down consistently, when you come up to do the rock and roll, what you want to do is ride all the way up to where this back truck is touching the coping. And that's like extending the trick out to its fullest capabilities, I guess you could say. It'd be like tweaking an air while you're in the middle. You're comfortable with doing the air, but you're going to add a little bit more style. Well, this would be adding a little bit more style to the front side rock and roll. So what you want to do is come up and make sure your board is pushed all the way this way. It's harder to come back in, so that's what makes the trick a little bit cooler that way. So you just come back in like this, and that's it. So let me show you a couple. So you're going to find that the trickiest part of doing frontside rocks is going to be going back in, like I said. But if you can get frontside kick turns down, the frontside rock and roll should be really easy. The only thing that's really different from a rock and roll than a kick turn, when you're doing a rock and roll, you really want to use your upper body and twist, and that's going to make your legs follow your upper body when you go back in. So watch when I do the rock and roll, and I'm going to come up onto the coping like this. And then watch my shoulders, because they're going to, just like the backside rock and roll, they're going to twist and they're going to initiate the movement when my body goes back into the transition. So as my shoulders twist, I'm going to lean back like I'm going to do a rock to fakie, only since I twisted my shoulders, my legs are going to follow. And I'm going to kind of manual my back trucks like this as I'm turning, and then I go back in, and you should roll away fine.